What is your American dream?
My American dream would be to end school mass shootings.
My dream for America is peace. I've been wanting that like all the time.
Dream America is toys.
My American dream is to become a professional ballerina.
My dream for America is everyone could have fireworks everywhere since some people can't see the fireworks from here.
My dream for America is for people to understand how this country was brought about, make the American dream possible for all citizens.
My dream for America is a unified country.
My dream for America is to nurture young entrepreneurs, especially in the minority community. We need to strengthen the economic power in the Afro-American community.
My American dream is what I'm living right now every day, and that's to enjoy my family, my friends, and my coworkers every day and get involved in my community and do my best to be the change that I see that needs to be.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is October 1st, 2019. We're in the fourth quarter of 2019.
Wow.
12 minutes to go in the basketball game, 90 days to go in the year. Is that crazy?
That's insane.
Is that insane?
It's scary.
Belgium Kim and Yonathan, Elias. Time is flying.
Right.
Too fast.
Wait, it's
Time
not
is
90.
flying.
Oh,
I
it's
can't believe
90
it.
days.
90 days. It's the fourth quarter.
That's
It's the fourth
crazy.
quarter of the year.
I legit thought it was September 1st.
No, it's October 1st.
No.
It's the fourth quarter
Wow.
of the year. 2019 has flown by. We're going into fall. Right
What are we
around the
gonna
time.
do?
This is right around the time when the weatherman never gets it right.
Oh, yes.
We have no idea whether we should be wearing sweaters.
Right.
Yes.
We should be in shorts.
Right.
The end of September
Yeah.
to mid-October. I am telling you, the weatherman has the best job in the world. It's the or weather woman. It's the only job. Belgium Kim and Yonathan, where you can show up to work every day and be wrong and still be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Okay?
That's true.
Yonathan, if you showed up to work every day and asked the questions wrong, would you be paid the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you get paid to do this show every day?
First, I would be having to make 100.
I was going to say, how many thousands? Because
Daily.
that's many more thousands that I'm making. Many more thousands than I'm making.
Would you get paid at all?
I sure would.
Would you get paid at
I
all?
sure would.
Right? At Belgium Kim, would you get paid for
The millions
for
that you-
millions of dollars?
Billions.
Because I was told today
Yeah.
that it was going to be very, very warm, and I walked outside. And
I
it
know.
was-
I see you have a cardigan.
Yeah, you look.
And it was very, very cold. And I'm like, what kind of, it's supposed to be sunny, and it looked like it was about to rain. And I went back in and I changed, and apparently the weatherman was wrong. And then 6 hours later, a weather woman, I don't know who's in charge.
Right.
And then 6 hours
You're a weather
later,
person.
you know, it's like weather person malpractice.
We are on every side of the spectrum here. I'm sleeveless. Jan is wearing just a t-shirt, and you are in full sweater and cardigan.
So one of us is going to get it right.
Right. And I
We
was-
don't know who.
And I was in a taxi this morning.
Right.
And I took a picture.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, remind
Okay,
me.
and I took a
please.
picture, you know, like they have like taxi TV in
Yeah.
New York City. So I took a picture, they had the weather report up, and it said it was going to be 87 degrees today on taxi TV. And I'm like, who is putting this weather up?
Yeah, no.
That is like weather person malpractice.
That's mad
I
fake news.
wish that we were able to sue the weather people when they are wrong. Okay, I think they would get the weather a lot better.
They would.
Or imagine they get arrested. Oh, you got the weather wrong? You know what? Go see the judge tomorrow. You go tell the judge what the weather's going to be tomorrow, right?
What app do you use? Because I use the Weather Channel app, and I got to be honest, I find them pretty dependable.
No,
they're
they are
pretty
not
accurate.
dependable. They are
They're
not
pre-
accurate.
I don't
They
watch
are
the
not
news.
accurate.
No, me
I don't
neither.
do the
I am
news.
building a case against the weather people for malpractice. They are absolutely not accurate.
I'm just saying today was supposed to be 69 and 80, and I have absolutely no outfits that fit
I
those
don't know.
things.
I don't know. I wonder if the weather's right in other parts of the country, but in New York, it's never
not.
correct. Never correct.
In North
New York
Carolina,
has-
it's
New York
like
has
98
bipolar-
degrees right now.
Bothers the hell out of me.
New York has bipolar weather anyway.
Yeah, like
so-
why can't you just tell me whether I should be dressed warm or cold? I just never get it right. So I'm like bundled up. I'm in t-shirt this morning, and I got to go run back and get bundled up. And then I come out of the building in the afternoon, and it's like...
You're just going to have a change of clothes in your office.
Yeah, just show up with a gym bag for your morning and night outfit.
Exactly. I don't know if I need to wear long underwear or
shorts.
Or shorts, exactly.
You could go either way, Brad.
All right. Well, I got to say hello to Jessica Leamy. Sophia Gray is watching. Sid Abbas Bellum. Hey, what's up? Tamika Nelson. Dion Watson. Cece Mitchell is watching. Lady Gaza TK. I think she's in the tickets business now, Lady Gaza.
Okay, I like that. Like the
think
TKTS.
Yes,
I like it.
Jenny Goldberg, also known as J Cube, watching as well. Sophia Gray, I said Devon Sr. says squad up family. Ben Bunam, just watching.
Yeah.
Just watching.
Just watching.
I like it.
Cece Mitchell, how are you? And Jamie Reed says welcome back, Brad. Hope you enjoyed your. I did enjoy my birthday.
What did you end up doing for your birthday? Because we haven't seen you since your birthday,
Yeah,
actually.
I went. I had some nice dinners.
Yeah.
I went to see a Broadway show.
Ooh, what'd you go see?
I saw Moulin Rouge.
Oh, that's high on my list.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Do you like the movie?
I never saw the movie.
That's
But it was
why.
just because it was too karaoke-ish. I thought the costumes were great, the actors and actresses were great. Everything was fabulous, except they were just singing, top 40 songs that you hear on the radio.
Oh, really?
So I thought maybe it should have been a little more interesting song choices. I saw an amazing show down at the Public Hotel.
Oh,
they were
nice.
really talented dancers from what was it called? From Havana and back.
Ooh,
And
nice.
it was about like Tropicana,
Ooh.
like bongos and
Ooh,
Tropicana
nice.
and like beautiful sexy dancing.
Yeah.
Latinos and Latina dancing was really cool. And what else did I do? I had Japanese food,
Ooh, yum.
lots of cake.
Ooh.
And that was my birthday.
Did you go to the gym?
I did not go to the gym. But
Sheesh.
tomorrow
Tomorrow
I'll
it
start
starts?
again. Tomorrow again. Yeah, birthday you don't go to the gym.
Can I say something that
Yes.
I did this weekend?
Yes.
I'm not really supposed to say, so
What'd
don't
you do?
really say anything. I was on Cash Cab.
No, you weren't. I was just having that conversation
What's
with
Cash
someone.
Cab?
You don't know what Cash Cab is?
It's gonna show at the end of the end. They just got picked up by Bravo.
What's Cash Cab?
So it's an
You get in a
amazing
taxi
show. Do
cab
you
and
guys
they
know
ask you
Cash
trivia
Cab,
questions?
The show?
It was just random? Or you sign up for it?
No, it was random. We didn't
Really?
know. I didn't know that I was gonna be on Cash Cab.
But you knew you were going to be on a show.
On a show.
But that you didn't know what show until you got in
so
the cab.
they were like, we're gonna send you to the location, and we're like, okay. So we got in, and we're like trying to figure out. We're nervous because we think it's a scavenger hunt, and all of a sudden the lights turn on, and Ben turns around and is like, "You're on Cash Cab." I was like, "Oh shit, snaps!"
Snaps. He said snaps.
I don't even know what Cash Cab is. Did you win?
Cash Cab is.
I can't say.
You can't say.
Yeah,
That
but
he is so in violation just
Yeah,
saying that he
right,
was
I
on
know.
Cash Cab.
You can't say whether you won or not, but you seem to be wearing a new gold watch. So,
this is very old.
that's
That's
new.
even
I've never
worse.
seen that before.
Me neither.
I've never seen that gold watch
doesn't
before.
even
right?
work.
You've never seen
No,
this?
no, I don't
Wow.
watch TV. What do I know? Lisa Blake
know you
Rose,
would know.
how are you?
Love Cash Cab.
And who else we
believe
got to
it?
say hello to? We'll check out whether you win or not at the end of the month. Julian, how are you? Leo Babs, that's a new person, right? And anybody else? Suzanne Johnson, is she new? Suzanne Lolith Platt. And on YouTube, gotta say hello to Charlton DaCosta, Max Santos, Anthony Brown, Cindy Albert saying hello, Ever Bless Andrea, Renan de Aguar Teixeira saying hello there. And Keisha Roberts with the question, we'll get to you in a little bit. Tally, Barbara Gordon, Cardo Simmons, and Carol, the Top Cat Tigress, Tracy Lacey, and everybody else. Belgium Kim, Yonathan, Elias. We're going to get into a lot of immigration today, lots of news, but please tell everybody how to share and what to do.
Absolutely. The very first thing that we want you guys to do is become an official member of the Brad Show Live Brad Squad, because real talk, I mean, talk about the things that really matter here, you guys. Those are the only people who get guaranteed answers to their questions. The first 5 people who ask an immigration question in that group every single day will be the first 5 questions that we ask during our social media check-in. So make sure to join the Brad Show Live Brad Squad at the link in the comments below. Also, please, family, you already know how to do this. I'm not going to tell you how. I'm just going to tell you to do it. Share the show. Tell all your friends. Think of someone you haven't thought of in a little while, fam. I want to, like, someone in the last 6 to 8 months. I'm not going to go deep cut like an elementary school teacher, but give me someone like a friend that you should have talked to in the last 6 months, but you haven't. We all have them. Share them this show right now as a DM or by starting a watch party and let them know. PSA from Brad.
Suzanne Johnson, don't be mad. I know exactly who you are. She's a top fan.
Oh, boom!
Yeah, I guess.
See? You can't hide. And the way that Brad knows that is because he's reading the comments, and we're going to keep interacting with you guys. So make sure that you are leaving all of your thoughts and feelings, even if that means that you're mad that Brad didn't say your name when he said hi, right here in the comments, because we are going to keep telling you everything we think and feel about you. Also, make sure that you're telling us all of your immigration questions in the comments right now, because we ask them first come, first serve.
Question. Did Asset Lindo change her name to Asset Limbo?
No, I see Asset Lindo.
No, it definitely says Asset.
Myrtle Ray is calling her Asset Limbo.
It's definitely Lindo.
Lindo. Okay,
definitely
back to you.
Lindo.
Just wanted to see if there was a name change.
All good. No.
Okay.
Definitely Lindo. Also, make sure, family, that if you haven't done so yet, make sure to like our page and hit that little bell right beside the like page button, because that is the thing that's going to tell you every single time we go live, we get a little notification that says you're live now. That keeps you from sitting in front of your phone just waiting impatiently. You'll get a notification. And on YouTube, what do we do, yo-yo?
On YouTube, first thing you're gonna do is subscribe. Click on that red rectangular button that says subscribe and that little bell right next to it for notifications anytime we come on, because you never know if we're gonna do a pop-up or not. I know we did pop-ups every Friday for summertime, but you don't know if we're gonna do it on a random day, all right? And this is why it's so important to share. I'm gonna tell you a little story.
Okay.
So this Saturday, I was emceeing at a bar mitzvah, right?
Yeah.
The DJ literally runs up to me and screams, "I saw your show!" It's because somebody needed help, and someone shared the YouTube link to his friend, and he was watching the show, and he was like, "Yo, that's my MC for the bar mitzvahs."
I have something to share with you.
Go ahead.
I was visiting somebody in a hospital today. I'm walking through the corridors of the hospital. I don't know if they were nurses or nurse aides, 2 men walking by, wheeling a patient. He's alive, the patient, he's not dead.
Good.
Okay? Wheeling, stops the patient and says, "You Brad from Brad Show Live?"
There
I go,
you go.
"Yes." And then they kept wheeling the patient along. The patient had no idea who I was, but the orderlies who were wheeling him knew exactly who I was. Obviously, somebody shared to the orderlies.
That's the only way we're gonna get the show out, is from you guys. This is how we help people. This is how we're all a part of this. We're all in this together. So you guys have to share, and how you share is press the arrow or copy link. Send it to any one of your social media platforms, but most importantly, copy the link and send it in a text message blast. You can use Viber, WhatsApp, whatever text app that you guys use, all right? So it's very, very important that you guys share. And of course, we definitely want you guys to put all your comments and your questions right now. It's the beginning of the show. Throw your questions in, because we have not gotten to a lot of the social media questions, but that's because you guys are putting it in too late. Put in your questions now, all right? It's very important. And of course, last but not least, we definitely love when you guys give us a thumbs up. We want as many thumbs up as possible, all right? Because that also helps with sending out the video as well, okay? Now, this is what you guys have been waiting for. This is when we get to schmooze with Brad.
All right, so the 2 biggest things right now, first of all, I see a lot of people asking, so let's get this out of the way about VAWA. Nothing has changed about VAWA yet. Okay? This is everything I know about what's going on with VAWA. As a matter of fact, Little Caesar asked me right before the show any news on VAWA, because she couldn't find anything on the internet. Nobody can find anything on the internet, because everything is about impeachment.
Right.
And what happened was VAWA expired September 30th. Even USCIS hasn't even sent out a notice what's going to happen to the VAWA applications. I don't think anybody knows to this moment. It's only October 1st, 24 hours after the end of VAWA.
Right.
The House of Representatives passed VAWA. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump at the moment. It has to do with the U.S. Senate. And the U.S. Senate has not taken it up. Mitch McConnell has not even brought it to a vote. So there has been no vote on the Senate for VAWA, even if they pass a separate bill than what was passed in the House, because then what happens is they negotiate out a compromise between the two. But it hasn't even been brought up for a vote, VAWA. So it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has to do with the Republican agenda that obviously Donald Trump is in charge of. But the Senate has never passed anything yet.
Right.
So as of September 30th, unless there's something that I'm unaware of, and I've not seen anything, I don't know what's going to happen now, but nothing has passed the Senate.
Right.
Okay? I don't know how USCIS is going to handle these cases. Nobody knows. The ones that are pending, ones that are filed, ones that are approved already, ones that are waiting interviews.
Right.
We don't know. Hopefully I'll know more tomorrow. I do know if they don't process, there's going to be a lot of lawsuits. Okay? Abadir sues the government is going to have a field day. Okay? If they don't process these.
Right.
Okay? And I think we would be very successful in some sort of litigation. But the reality is, we don't know what's going to happen yet. All I can tell you is right now, based on the law, immigration is not supposed to accept any more VAWA applications unless it's reauthorized.
It just blows my mind that they would let something that impacts such a sensitive, vulnerable population lapse like this. That just blows my mind a little bit. We're talking about battered spouses.
Belgium Kim, they're separated families at the border. They're preventing people from coming in as refugees. They're not accepting asylum applications. Okay, there's a long list of people who are grieved by Donald Trump who need help and are not being helped.
Fact.
Yeah,
With that being said, hopefully this is the week we can begin to say goodbye to Donald Trump. Hopefully, we will look back in history.
Bold statement.
Yes. Hopefully, we will look. Yep, that guy. Hopefully, we will look back in history one day, and we will say, "This is the week we begin to say goodbye to Donald Trump." Now, for everybody who has been in a coma, trapped under a rock, or shot up to the moon and had no internet or television transmissions, Donald Trump is going to start. There's going to be an impeachment inquiry, which is actually a two-step process in the House. There's the inquiry, and then there's the actual impeachment. Okay, but they're going to start the fact gathering to start an impeachment against Donald Trump. And the facts are that we know right now there is a whistleblower, okay, who is the Deep Throat. And I'm not talking about the porn movie, the Deep Throat from the Nixon. This is not Hump Day yet.
Right.
Okay. Who is the Deep Throat of our time.
Right.
Who heard a conversation firsthand. Don't listen to Fox News or Rudy Giuliani, who says that this is hearsay. He heard it. He listened to the conversation. He heard the words himself.
Right.
And he heard Donald Trump make a political deal, or try to make a political deal, not only with the Ukrainian president, but obviously now the Australian president, to go investigate his political rivals, and in return for investigating political rivals, to be given access to Donald Trump, to be given access to things that the United States may want to give to Ukraine, like money that's already been authorized, $250 million. So that is abusing his power as the President of the United States, to say to Ukraine, for example, we're not going to give you the $250 million that's been authorized by Congress for you to defend yourself against Russia unless you give me information about Joe Biden and his son. Now, we don't know what Joe Biden and his son did.
Right.
At the moment, there has been no factual allegation that has been verifiable that they did anything wrong.
Well,
is it strange that Joe Biden's son is on the board of directors of some Ukrainian company? Yeah, that's strange. Would he have been on the board of directors had he not been Joe Biden's son? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. Okay? But there's nothing at this point. Maybe it's a little cronyism for sure.
Right.
Okay? Nobody's saying it's not cronyism and maybe it's a little smelly. But there's nothing illegal about putting somebody on the board of directors of any company.
Right.
Okay? So there's no factual allegation, although Trump and his team are trying to insinuate or actually come out and express that Joe Biden and his son are stealing money, billions of dollars from the Chinese. It's corruption, blah, blah, blah. And I was just having an argument with somebody today. I said, name the law that Joe Biden or Joe Biden's son broke. I said, I can tell you the law right now that Donald Trump broke.
Right. What?
Okay,
How many?
But name the law that Joe Biden and his son broke.
Right.
But they're muddying the waters, Republicans, because when you can't defend yourself, you blame somebody else.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Well, Donald Trump doing, Donald Trump, he didn't break any laws. Joe Biden broke laws. Joe Biden did this. Everything, it's always, but Joe Biden this, but Joe Biden's son that. Okay, it's never, no, I didn't do anything wrong. It's always accuse somebody else. So now, Rudy Giuliani, who, mark my words, I made a bet with this person, who was a very staunch Republican.
Okay.
I made a bet with this person. All right, we're going to go back to the videotape now.
Okay.
Okay. I made a bet, and my bet was that within 2 years from now, the world is going to look back. All right, Donald Trump is guilty. Rudy Giuliani has been indicted or in jail.
I agree with that.
Okay. It's my guess right now.
I like it.
Okay, he has been subpoenaed. And I know he's kind of a far way from being America's mayor. Right after the 9/11 terror attacks. From America's mayor to where he is today. But House Democrats yesterday subpoenaed Rudy Giuliani in a letter to Giuliani by 3 House committee chairmen. They said there's a growing public record indicates that Trump, Giuliani, and others appear to have pressed the Ukrainian government to pursue 2 politically motivated investigations. In addition to Giuliani's statements and admissions on TV, you stated more recently that you're in possession, this is what the letter says, that you're in possession of evidence in the form of text messages, phone records, and other communications indicating that you are not acting alone and that other Trump administration officials may be involved in the scheme. Now, Rudy Giuliani says, wait a second. I'm his personal attorney, so everything is privileged. Okay, it's not privileged if you go on national TV and start talking about it.
Right.
You broke that privilege.
Right.
Okay? So, for example, Yonathan. Right, there he is, right there. Yonathan, let's say I'm defending you. Okay? Yonathan tells me about all the crimes you committed. Now, you've committed no crimes. I'm just making...
I have not.
I'm being honest. Yonathan is as straight as an arrow. Okay? But let's straight as an arrow. I mean, not even a little curve.
Right.
Okay? But let's say, hypothetically, you confess to me. Okay, about crimes you committed, I'm your attorney, and then I go on national television and start talking about all the crimes that you committed. Well, guess what? There's no more attorney privilege. I've just told the entire world.
Right.
So Giuliani can't have privilege anymore.
Wow.
Okay, and then if he, because he's in a bind right now, because they have subpoenaed all of his documents about his trip to the Ukraine. So he has 2 weeks. Okay, and the 2 weeks he can either hand over and testify. Or he cannot. Those are his 2 choices. Hand the documents over, don't hand the documents over. If he hands the documents over, well, guess what? He's probably hung himself.
Right.
If he doesn't hand the documents over, well, then he's guilty of obstruction of justice.
Right.
Either way, he's going to be found guilty of something. That's why I told this person who I made the bet with, he's going to end up in jail.
Yeah.
One way or the other. But he's not the only one. Okay?
Okay.
Pence was on telephone conversations. We don't know what Pence did.
Right.
Okay. Pompeo, the Secretary of State, on telephone conversations. We don't know what Pompeo did yet. Now we know for example that Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was on the July phone call where Donald Trump asked his Ukrainian counterpart to investigate Joe Biden and his son. And this July 25th phone call between Trump and the Ukrainian president and the related whistleblower complaint are now at the center of what's going on. Pompeo was on that telephone call as well. Now the House has also subpoenaed at least 5 members of the State Department to come testify who may have also been part of that call or part of what's going on. And as a matter of fact, several people associated with this have already resigned, including the guy, what's his name, Volker?
Kurt Volker.
Kurt Volker, who is the go-between. He was the ambassador.
He was I believe the ambassador to the Ukraine.
To the Ukraine. He suddenly he just resigned on Friday.
Yeah, he was named in the whistleblower complaint.
Right. Now, I want you to know something. There is a cast of characters associated with Donald Trump that go to jail. All of these people are now subject to going to jail, just like Michael Cohen. Okay, President Trump's former lawyer before Giuliani.
Right.
Okay, Giuliani basically took over the personal lawyer from Michael Cohen, who went to jail.
Right.
Giuliani's following right on Michael Cohen's footsteps. Paul Manafort, the campaign manager,
Right.
in jail. Rick Gates, the assistant campaign manager,
Right.
guilty,
Jeez.
will eventually go to jail. Michael Flynn, who was the original national security advisor, jail. Think about all these people. George Papadopoulos, the campaign foreign policy advisor, jail.
What?
Alex Vanderswan, the associate of the Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, jail. Konstantin Kimmlich, associate of Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort, jail. Chris Collins, the first U.S. congressman to endorse Donald Trump for president, just was found guilty today for insider trading. Duncan Hunter, the second U.S. congressman to endorse Donald Trump for president, he's indicted for misusing campaign money. Ralph Shorty, the Trump campaign chair for the state of Oklahoma, guilty of sex trafficking. We can go on and on and on.
How's
Children,
every one of them
over
in jail?
18 people, I believe, associated with Donald Trump or his campaign since he started running for president, has been found guilty or is in jail already.
Right.
Or indicted.
Right.
18 people.
Yep.
Top people. So I made this bet. I said, were you telling me Giuliani's not going to end up in jail? Because he's either going to obstruct justice or he's going to hand over the information.
Right.
One or the other.
Right.
Now Donald Trump, for his part, he's saying that Adam Schiff, who is heading, now Nancy Pelosi has basically put Adam Schiff, who was the Democrat in the House of Representatives, he's from California,
Right.
Has put him in charge of the whole impeachment process.
Right.
Donald Trump is basically calling Adam Schiff a traitor to the United States of America, and said that if this impeachment process is going to go on, the United States is going to end up in a civil war. Donald Trump is basically, it's craziness. Trump suggested that any effort to oust him is going to lead to civil war, and it was part of a weekend barrage of tweets that offered a window into his emotions. It was Trump's latest objection to Schiff's summation of a rough transcript in which the president on July 25th pressured Ukraine's leader to investigate Joe Biden's son. Now, eventually what's going to happen, what's going to happen is right now Trump's main core supporters, they're sticking by him.
Right.
Including this person who I made a bet with today. The core supporters are sticking by him.
That's crazy.
But as people start peeling off, as we peel the onion is going to be peeled layer by layer. We're going to start getting documents in from Giuliani, or he's going to be obstructing justice.
Right.
We're going to get documents from the State Department, or they're going to be obstructing justice.
Right.
We're going to start hearing from the whistleblower.
Right.
We're going to start hearing from other people from the State Department. This guy Volker, who suddenly resigns. Obviously, he's resigning because he's got something to hide.
Right.
Okay? Lots and lots of people. The onion is going to start to unpeel. And as the onion unpeels, guess what? The onion's going to be rotten to the core. And then the Republicans and the moderate Republicans, the independents, and even some of his core supporters are going to say, wait a second, this is completely un-American. So un-American, for example, okay, Donald Trump, which is unbelievable. I saw a tweet today, how crazy the world has turned. Donald Trump congratulated China on 70 years of communism today in a tweet.
Yeah.
Okay? Can you imagine if President Obama congratulated China on 70 years of communism?
He would never.
Okay? He would be roasted. Roasted. Okay? Donald Trump congratulates China. Where did America come from?
Right.
Okay? So now, people are going to start to peel off as we start to hear all of this. And we see it already. We see it already in the polling. Okay? A new Hill-Harris survey on Friday found support for impeachment proceedings against President Trump has risen 12 points in the last 90 days. So it means 12% swing. A 12% swing. The survey was conducted on September 27th. my birthday, just days after the House Democrats started a formal impeachment inquiry. The poll shows that 47% of America now supports impeachment. That is up 12% from a similar survey in June. People who are opposed to impeachment is 42%, which makes 11% unsure right now.
Right.
Okay. They weren't sure. They didn't know. 49 in favor. What was it? It was 47% in favor of impeaching Donald Trump, 42% against, 11 unsure. If that 11% flips towards impeachment, those are your moderate Republicans, those 11 percentage. If it flips towards impeachment, you're now at almost 60% of America in favor of impeachment. Plus, I'm sure a couple of people will kind of peel off. It all depends. It all now depends on what we're going to discover from the whistleblower, from the Giuliani documents, from the other State Department officials who are going to testify. It's going to be weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and people are going to start unpeeling this onion. Yeah. When you get to about 60% of America in favor of impeachment, watch all the Republicans jump off the Donald Trump boat. Watch it. They're all going to jump off the boat.
You think 60% is the number?
60% is the number.
I hope you're right.
Now think about it. Bill Clinton got impeached, okay? And what did he do? He lied about basically getting a hand job from an intern.
Right.
He lied under oath about getting a hand job from an intern.
Right.
Or whatever he did with the woman. Monica Lewinsky, I lost her name for a second.
Blue
and
dress.
He was impeached in the House. It went to the Senate. It was a 50-50 tie. And it was Al Gore as the vice president who voted against finally convicting him in the Senate trial. And Clinton was saved from office by one vote, which was his vice president.
Wow.
Now, that was about lying about a hand job.
Yeah.
Okay? This is about selling the presidency to the Ukraine. It's a big, big difference.
Yeah.
And I think as people start to see it, you're going to start seeing more and more people saying they're in favor. Think about it. 90 days ago, the numbers were flipped. More Americans said, don't do an impeachment.
Right.
Now it's 47 to 42.
Wow.
I think it's going to be a big difference. Meanwhile, the whistleblower, we don't know who he is. Nobody knows who he is, or she. We do know. This is what we know about the whistleblower. The whistleblower heard firsthand. So you hear on Fox, this is all hearsay. You hear the Republican congressman saying it's all hearsay. It's not hearsay, because the inspector general who led this investigation with the whistleblower put out a statement today that says the whistleblower was credible and knows this information firsthand. And not only is he credible or she credible and knows this firsthand, but the information that he or she possessed posed a significant threat to the United States of America. It's a big difference than a hand job from Bill Clinton almost getting impeached.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. And Jill is saying it's a BJ.
It was a
BJ.
I didn't feel like we needed to go
BJ.
that, but yeah, it was.
Okay. I don't know for a fact. I wasn't under the desk, so I don't know what was going on. Okay, but whatever it was, it was.
Monica stands by it.
So now this whistleblower who had credible first-hand information about a threat, an immediate threat to the United States of America, now fears for their safety.
Absolutely.
There's more than a $50,000 bounty on the head of the whistleblower by some people that actually want to kill the whistleblower. Okay? 60 Minutes first reported that the whistleblower is now under federal protection because of safety fears. Nobody really knows who this whistleblower is. Now, the lawyer for the whistleblower, Mark Zaid, and we're going to hear from Mark Zaid a lot. He's going to become a famous lawyer now, Mark Zaid, because he represents the whistleblower.
Right.
Tweeted that the protection does not mean the whistleblower is preparing to testify. Nor have we reached any agreement with Congress on contact with this whistleblower. Discussions remain ongoing. Zaid's letter to Acting Director of National Intelligence, Joseph McGuire, cites comments Trump told a private group at a Midtown hotel on September 26th. All right, this was at UN week. He says, I want to know who's the person who gave the whistleblower. Who's the person that gave the whistleblower the information, because that's close to a spy. You know what we used to do in the old days when we were smart, right? With spies and treason, right? We used to handle them a little differently than we do now. Now, two things about that comment. Number one, Donald Trump threatened to kill the whistleblower, jail the whistleblower, throw the whistleblower in jail, throw away the key. We don't know what that meant. This is how we used to deal with spies back in the old days. So it was intimidation. Number two, he insinuated to that group that the whistleblower knows nothing, that he was given that information from another source. That's what the Republicans are saying. It's hearsay.
Right.
And the Inspector General came out today and said it's not hearsay. The whistleblower knows this information firsthand. The whistleblower was part of that telephone conversation. We'll see what happens, Belgium Kim. Now, Mitch McConnell says that if President Trump is indicted, remember, this is how it works. Think of the House of Representatives as the grand jury. Indictment, impeachment is indictment, and the Senate is where the trial is. Mitch McConnell, the head Republican of the Senate, says that he will hold a trial. There are Republicans already who may be jumping boat. Mitt Romney says he's interested to hear more information. He's not coming to defense of Donald Trump so fast.
Right.
Okay, and I bet you there's other people. I just read an article that almost everybody in the Republican Party wants to go against Donald Trump, but they're terrified for their own political prospects. So when the onion starts peeling and people start going up against Donald Trump and saying, wow, what he's doing is really, really bad, Republicans are all going to jump off the Donald Trump boat. Just watch.
So do you not think that there will be, I mean, even if they jump off the boat, they have to go all the way through the impeachment proceedings, right? And then just impeach him.
I think what will happen, it'll be more like a Nixon thing.
You think he'll resign?
Where if he sees that the Republicans are going to get, I don't know. You think he's going to barricade himself in the office?
Well, so here's what the conversation happening in the comments right now. Fortune made a great point that said Trump won't go down without an aggressive fight.
Right.
And I agree with that I think that Trump cares more about preserving his own image no matter how he has to destroy this country every way that he can, instead of ensuring a peaceful transition of power, even if he knows he's lost. Like if he knows he's lost, he's going to be like a cornered animal.
I think it's a lot of it's too far into the future right now. So we got to see what's going to happen. I could see it going both ways, so who knows?
Right.
I just know for a fact that this whistleblower heard this firsthand. The Republicans are presenting disinformation about what's going on. Donald Trump was selling his presidency for political purposes. We know this. That is a crime. What Hunter Biden did, what Joe Biden did, maybe it's cronyism. We don't know. I have no idea. Okay, is it any different than any other politician? But they have never been accused of breaking the law.
Right.
Maybe cronyism should be a crime. And if it is, then we should change the law. Then let's change the law and say cronyism is a crime. Okay? And by the way, Jill is telling me that Hunter Biden was not even on the board anymore when these accusations that Donald Trump were making against him. So we'll see.
Right.
All right. So meanwhile, in other news, if you're in Montana, you better be wearing something warmer than me. All right, because more than 4 feet of snow hit Montana in September. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
It's under emergency conditions right now. The town of Browning, Montana, saw 48 inches of snowfall from Friday to Sunday. And despite coming in late September, the 19.3 inches of snow that fell just over 2 days in Great Falls, Montana, is the second to only one other 2-day total in the city in any month. In January, February, it was the second biggest snowstorm in the history of Montana.
What?
And it happened in September. Not the second biggest snowstorm in September ever.
That's
ever
insane.
Yeah, emergency crews are busy trying to keep the routes clear. Utility crews are working to turn back power. Montana Governor Steve Bullock declared an emergency. Even after the precipitation tears off, forecasters say many people in Montana will have to endure record cold. Temperatures expected to dip into the single digits in north central and southwest Montana. Donald Trump tweeted recently, you see, there's no such thing as global warming. Look at Montana.
Right.
No, he didn't say that, but
I
I'm
was
sure
about to say.
I'm sure he's thinking that. Okay, and it has nothing. This is not a global warming issue. This is a global weirding issue. Generally, over the entire Earth, the temperatures are getting warmer, but in fact, temperatures are getting weirder in each specific instance. We're getting huge storms when we shouldn't be getting storms. We're getting huge changes in weather, huge fluctuations
all that is a
in
part
change.
of global warming.
That is correct, and that is what's going on in America.
Yeah.
And the
That's
world.
crazy.
And the world,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, finally, Shelley Ann Fraser-Price. You know who she is?
Yes,
No.
the
Okay.
runner.
She is the fastest woman in the world, Yonathan. She
Really?
can out-sprint you in a second.
I don't know about all
Okay,
that.
yes.
I'm just playing. She probably
She's
can.
Jamaican.
I'm sure she can.
She's Jamaican.
Wow.
yeah.
Yes. So she has staked her claim as the greatest female sprinter of all time by storming to victory in the women's 100 meters final at the World Championships in Doha, Qatar. Got her.
Nice.
What is it with Jamaicans? They're the fastest people in the world.
Fastest people. in
They
the world.
are, right?
Yeah.
What is it with Jamaicans and being the fastest people in the
What is
world?
the secret?
I know for Ethiopians,
I
because you
think
know
it's in the strong
Ethiopians,
back.
Ethiopians always
They're the sprinters. They're not
no,
the sprinters,
no,
the long distance, long
And I
distance.
found out why.
They're in the mountains.
Yeah, so
Yes.
like when I went to Ethiopia,
They're in the
I almost
mountains.
like passed out because the
They're in the
altitude is so
mountains.
high. So when
Right.
they come to the States,
They-
Your
they-
lung
they- they-
capacity is
yeah, it's just
huge.
huge.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's why.
But what-
They're
but-
always,
but-
now
what-
Jamaicans, you guys have to let us know
it's
why
strong
you guys.
back. That's the only thing I can. It's the only thing I can think about.
I thought that'd slow you down. That speech.
No, strong back speech
Strong
up,
back,
man.
listen, strong back will have you racing to
That's
someone's
right.
house. Like,
Oh yeah.
Baby. So congratulations to Shelley and Fraser-Price and
That's awesome.
and Yonathan and Belgium Kim. We got to get to immigration questions.
Yes.
So why don't you please tell everybody how to share one last time while I stretch and get ready to answer everybody's immigration.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Act like Jamaicans and drink some Strongback and use your fingers to share. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they were fast sharing as Shelley Ann
That was running.
we'd have a show here.
This will be viral.
That's
all
true.
right?
That's true.
So use that as inspiration, guys. I need you guys to share right now. Right now on Facebook, if you guys want to share, all you have to do is press that little arrow that says share and share it to anybody's page. You can share it to different groups, and most importantly, let's share it into an inbox, all right? And we always tell you about starting a watch party. That helps so much. You remember last week or the week before when two people had started a watch party, hosted a watch party, and sent dings to Brad because you guys are actual friends on Facebook with him. So what that does is it sends a whole big ding notification to your entire friends list and says, hey, my friend is watching or hosting a watch party. People are gonna just automatically be like, what's this watch party about? What is the show about? Let's see what it's about. So whenever anybody goes into your watch party, you see anybody that logs on, talk to them. You know what I mean? Host it. You guys, that is your show. All right? Whatever your name is, Asset Lindo Show Live.
By the way, the best answer to why the Jamaicans are always the fastest.
Oh, don't do that to me.
That I see
Don't
right
do
now.
this to me.
Yes.
Don't do this to me right now.
Wait, I just lost it.
Yeah,
now.
lose it.
Right.
Don't get it back.
Dawn Harriet.
Damn it.
Dawn Harriet says Jamaicans
That's right,
are always
that's
running
right.
from something or to something. They're always running from something or to something. You Jamaicans are always
There
running.
you go.
There
Dawn
you go.
Harriet,
That's the
just
best
so you know.
answer I saw.
Brad just stole your comment of the day, just so you know.
All right, so yes, start a watch party, share, and also put your comments down right now. Of course, Facebook and YouTube together. We want you guys to join the Brad Squad group on Facebook because you get incentives. You get the first 5 questions for social media questions we will answer, guaranteed. All right, and also we'll be putting different videos. You guys can ask us personal questions and we'll answer them on there. Everybody else who's not a part of the Brad Squad, you will not be able to access any of that information. So make sure you guys join right now. And what are we gonna do on YouTube?
On YouTube, the very first thing y'all need to do is hit that subscribe button, obviously. Subscribe to the channel so you find out all of the good stuff that we keep you updated
I
on.
have a question,
Look at the
Belgium
good stuff.
Kim.
Good stuff
How
right
many
here.
shares on Facebook at this moment?
On this,
How many shares on Facebook at this moment?
the last I saw it was
86.
A sad number of shares. Yonathan, Elias, how many thumbs up on YouTube?
We have 41.
A sad number of thumbs up. I don't know what is sadder. We have 106,000 subscribers on Facebook and only 76 shares. Or we have 12,200 subscribers on YouTube and only 46 people want to give thumbs up. What is the sadder number? Belgium Kim, answer.
Neither is a sad number because all of our fans are awesome, Brad.
Nah.
No?
Answer. What is sadder? YouTube or
for
Facebook?
y'all.
Somebody's going to be very sad today.
I'm going to say both of them are sad because
Yes.
you guys are so much, because you guys can do so much better. You guys showed us last week and we did not forget, we are going to be picking 2 names to win 2 consultations tomorrow.
Correct.
So you guys
they
did
it.
this before.
They did it, right?
They did.
Right, it's going to be done tomorrow.
Yeah, we're doing
We said
it
we're
tomorrow.
doing it on Hump Day.
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
So
2 free consultations for those who commented.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to throw in a 3rd free consultation tomorrow? You want to throw in a 3rd one?
So you're trying to do something today?
Yeah, let's get to 300 shares on Facebook and 200 thumbs up on YouTube.
All right, let's do it.
We'll throw in another free consult. 3 people will get free consultations.
Wow.
A value of $200 for me. I'm actually going to do them.
So
$600 worth of legal fees.
Okay.
Legal work.
Okay.
There you go.
And also make sure what's we need
So
to make
300 shares on Facebook.
shares.
And
It's
how
all
many?
being done tomorrow, by the way. The
Yes,
free drawing.
tomorrow.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. And how many likes?
300 shares.
300 shares.
200 likes on YouTube.
Woo!
There you go.
You guys got a big job. The last thing that we need you guys to do is make sure that you are leaving us your immigration questions in the comments, and don't wait another second, family, because we ask those first come, first serve. And so a lot of times we don't get to the ones that get asked at 6:30, 6:45.
Who do you think? Who do you think of all the Brad squad
Yeah.
is going to be the cheerleader who rallies everybody to do all the sharing on Facebook?
Jessica Leamy.
You think Jessica Leamy's going to do it?
Grandma.
I think Glamour. It could be Lisa Bling Rose.
Or Tamika.
Who do you think's going to take charge? Somebody
Sandra
has to take charge and get everybody to start sharing there. It can't just be us.
Right.
And who do you think on Facebook's going to take charge to get to 200 thumbs up?
You mean on YouTube?
On YouTube.
On
Excuse me.
YouTube.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Tally, my girl Tally
yeah.
Think
is
it's gonna be Tally?
hands down the leader
I
of
don't
the
know.
YouTube
Let's see.
squad.
Let's see.
I'm
All right.
excited. Let's
Start
see.
adding people. Add their name and tag them and call them out. All right.
And now is the time you've all been waiting for. We're getting answers to your immigration questions.
And we're not getting answers yet because we're only getting 76 thumbs up. And how many shares? I don't think we're ready for answers yet.
Okay.
How many shares do we have
97
on?
shares.
97 shares. We're not going to get to any answers till we get to 80 thumbs up and 110 shares on Facebook. I've got all night.
Oh, well, we don't.
I've got all night.
So you guys, can you please share?
I've
and
got
press a
all
thumbs
night
up.
here.
And remember on YouTube, it's not just putting the emoji thumbs up on the comment section. It's the actual thumbs up where it
Correct.
says 79.
Correct. Correct.
Right under the video. Okay, so make
Correct.
sure you actually just press that thumb to make it blue. Because right now it's gray. Don't make us gray. Make us blue.
81.
There we go.
What about Facebook?
Well, you didn't set a thing for them.
I said 110 shares on Facebook, 81 thumbs up on YouTube, and I'll start answering immigration questions.
102 shares on Facebook.
That's lame. Who's gonna do the last 8 so we can start getting to immigration? What do you think?
I think I'm going to do a couple right now, Brad.
Okay, I am actually too. So we can get this
All right,
started.
I'll do it anyway. Let's get this show started anyway. All right, let's go to Johannes in West Palm Beach, Florida. Johannes.
Hey, first of all, thank you for the show. My question is,
yes.
I petitioned for my daughter and my wife back in October 2017 in California Service Center.
Okay, where are you originally from, Johannes?
You say what again?
Where are you originally from?
I am originally from Ethiopia.
Oh my God, Yonathan just whispered you're from Ethiopia. Very good. And Johannes, your family is in Ethiopia right now?
Yes, they are in Ethiopia.
Okay, and you're a permanent resident or a citizen?
I was a permanent resident back when I applied, but I am a citizen now in January 2019.
And did you notify immigration that you're now a citizen on the I-130s?
Yes, I did.
And did you file separate I-130s for both your spouse and your children?
Yes.
Okay. And where are we at now with these I-130s?
So, like after 24 months, last week I get a notification that it's pending interview. But in the meantime,
pending. You went through the National Visa Center. You did the affidavits of support and everything.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so now the case got transferred to Ethiopia, and you're waiting on the interview. And that notification came when?
Last week.
Last week. Okay. So what's the question?
My question is, in the meantime, I have a newborn baby girl in February 2018.
Congratulations.
So I filed a separate I-130 for my new baby in February 2019.
You don't need to, because you were a citizen when that baby was born, right?
No, I was not.
You were not.
I became a citizen in 2019. Yeah.
Okay, fine. All right. So you filed a separate I-130 for that baby, and what's going on with the baby? What's going on with that I-130?
Yeah. So now my question is, how can I inform the USCIS to consider my baby girl along with my wife?
You're not going to be able to. We got to get that I-130 approved. When did you file? In January 2019?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's a little early to do a mandamus till January of next year. Unfortunately, either your family's going to come and your wife's going to have to return to take care of the baby pending that baby's interview, or we're going to have to wait till January, file a mandamus, and kind of speed up the baby's process. But unfortunately, because the baby was born in the middle and we still have an I-130 pending, you got to wait a little bit. Unfortunately, you don't have the the answer to that right now. Wait till January, file a mandamus if you haven't gotten approved, and push the case along. But maybe your wife and family may be delayed a little bit because we got to catch that baby up on the rest of the applications.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brad.
Okay. All right, let's go. That wasn't a good answer, but that is unfortunately how it works. Good answer in the sense that it was a good answer. Mm-hmm. As Donald Trump said, it was a perfect answer. Right. That's what he says.
Right.
Okay, perfect answer. But that's how immigration works. Let's go to Shaquille in Centerville, Virginia. Shaquille.
Yeah, this is Shaquille. Thank you for taking the call.
My pleasure. What's going on?
My wife has a green card for almost 10 years, since April 2010. Mm-hmm. And 3 kids and myself, we are U.S. citizens. I want to find out about the public charge for my wife because she had Medicaid last year due to pregnancy.
Yeah, but that has nothing. She already has a green card for 9 years, so it has no effect on her whatsoever.
Okay, and the second question is, I applied for her citizenship in 2015 after waiting 3 years. I got an answer, and there was an interview date, but there was a severe miscarriage, and she couldn't go, and I went to submit the paperwork from the gynecologist. So I guess I need to file again.
It was denied?
No, it was closed because she didn't appear, and I submitted the paperwork
when you say closed, are they willing? Is it closed, or was the case denied? Those are two different words.
No, it was not denied. It was closed because I submitted the paperwork from the doctor's office.
So then I wouldn't refile again. I would threaten to file. I would threaten a mandamus for an interview or do a de novo review, one or the other. Just do something. Yeah, because when it's closed,
I am not a lawyer, so I want your help, I think.
Okay, so yes, I don't think you should have to refile again. We should just have to get the case rescheduled. I think threatening a mandamus would do the trick really fast. So hold on one second, all right? Let's go to Eli in Nashua, New Hampshire. Eli.
Yes, Brett, how you doing?
How are you?
Great. I wanted to ask you, long back in 2016, I was married before, and I applied for my asylum, and my asylum took pretty much like 6 years. So when I got married, my wife ended up being a spouse, like applying for my petition.
Right.
But then in 2016, things got out of hand, and then we ended up like divorcing.
Okay.
So right now, I've got, instead of my wife petitioning for me, I ended up going to the immigration court, and then they didn't give me the asylum. They gave me a withholding of removal.
Okay.
So right now, I met another lady, and we are actually getting married on Friday, on Saturday.
Okay. You're divorced
So I
from your
wanted to
first
ask-
wife, I assume, right?
Oh yes,
Okay.
I'm
All right.
divorced.
So-
Everything is all set.
So then this is the process of what you would have to do. You would have to
Yes.
file an I-130 first. Nothing else. You file an I-130 and you have to request something called a bona fide marriage exemption, because the presumption is, because you've already been through the deportation process, the presumption is that you got married just to get a green card. So you're gonna file an I-130 only. You're gonna go be prepared for the Stokes interview on the first interview. They're gonna separate you into two different rooms. You pass the Stokes interview, just like kind of like the ratified marriage that we do on the streets. Once you get the I-130 approved, then you can go to the judge where you had the withholding of removal and ask for a motion to reopen your case. Reopen your removal hearing, show up to court, say, here's my I-130. The judge hopefully will terminate your removal and then allow you to file an adjustment. That would be the process.
Okay.
All right, and we can help you if you need help. So hold on one second, all right? But it's
All
not
right.
going to be, you don't have a lawyer and you just file an adjustment, because what will happen is your adjustment will be denied. So hold on one second, all right?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Lamoya in the Bronx. Lamoya.
Hello, good
Hi, how are
afternoon.
you?
I'm okay. I'm getting food stamps for my daughter, but I would like to take my husband up from Jamaica. Will that affect him?
Well, food stamps for your children under 18 will not affect him, but obviously the affidavit support laws have changed, but that's not going to be an automatic denial. There are exceptions, which are government assistance for U.S. citizen children under 18 and for pregnant moms. So you'll still be able to file for him, assuming he's an able-bodied man and can find a job here and everything else. I mean, the rules have changed a little bit, but that in of itself, when you say, is that going to bar me from applying for my husband? The answer is no.
Okay, but I'm a green card holder, and I'm actually getting married in November to bring him over here.
Okay, fine. So it'll be a year or 2 years before he gets here. Go down to where he's in Jamaica?
Yes, he's in Jamaica. He's a doctor over there.
All right, so you're going to go to Jamaica. You're going to marry him. You're going to file a visa petition. Do not worry about what the rules will be. He's not coming here for at least 18 to 24 months. Who even knows if Donald Trump's going to be the president 18 to 24 months from now? Who knows what's going to happen in the election? Do not worry about the affidavit of support rules right now. And as a matter of fact, as I told you, children under 18 who are U.S. citizens and pregnant moms, they're exempt from being barred from filing for people.
Okay, thank you. Have a blessed night.
Okay. All right, let's go to Nicole in Queens. Nicole.
Hi, good.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Brad. How you doing?
What's going on?
I'm calling for my cousin.
Yes.
Okay, his wife had 5 for kids back in Jamaica, and the two eldest one went on the interview on September 9th. Anyway, they requested for them for the dad to prove that he's maintaining the kids. Now, he has pictures of them, but he's not a picture person, so he has few little pictures with both of them together, with him with the kids.
But he has a few, I assume.
Huh?
He has a few, I assume. When you're a dad, let me explain something to you. When you're a dad filing for your children and you were never married, obviously this dad was never married to the mother. And when you were never married to the mother, they discriminate against dads who were never married to the mother. Whether you're black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. All dads across the board are discriminated against who are not married to the mother. And the discrimination is this: it's a discrimination in the law, but you got to accept it. And what they say is, not only do you have to prove you're the biological father, which I'm sure he did, you also have to prove that you had a relationship with your child between birth and 18. So that relationship could be, here we are palling around in our pictures, my arm around my son or my daughter. Here's proof that I sent money, whether it was to, you're not sending money directly to a child, you would send it to another adult, and then you need proof of that, and then the adult would have to sign an affidavit saying that money was for this child. Here's proof that I'm on their school records. Here's proof that there was a baptism, and I was there, and I'm listed as the father. Here's affidavits from friends and family to say I was a good dad. There's all different ways other than just a photograph to show that you had a relationship with your child.
Okay, he has proof from the school where he got a letter from the principal stating that he was in this kid's life and stuff like that.
That's good.
He sent for a transcript of the Western Union from Western Union, but he haven't got it yet.
Right.
But he was wondering if he could send in what he has.
I would send it all at one time. It's much better, much stronger.
So I think he should wait on the Western Union transcript.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And then when the Western Union transcript comes in, it's not going to be a Western Union for a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old to go pick up the money. It was sent to somebody else on behalf of this child. So then you're going to need that person to sign an affidavit saying this money was sent to me for support for these children.
Oh, okay. Another thing, the smallest one went on the interview Monday, and they requested for a DNA testing and his wife's birth certificate. Okay. So he's wondering if it's because his name wasn't added on the birth paper at birth.
Correct.
So he's wondering it's because
of that.
The name was.
It's absolutely
why they're giving him a hard time.
It is exactly because of that. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, because I mean the reality is this. Anybody who doesn't claim their child at birth, 4, 5, 6 years later, they can just come and say, "Oh, I'm a U.S. citizen. I'll get your kid. I'll just claim I'm the father. I'll add my name on, at age 5 or age 6." So anyone could do that. So it's only when you acknowledge the child contemporaneous with the birth that they don't ask for the DNA.
Yeah, but the thing is, the two eldest one, they didn't request any DNA. Just the smallest one is 7.
Then you got lucky on those. Okay, I don't have an answer to that. Okay, but don't look a gift horse in the mouth, as they say. All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, let's go to Amira in Rockland, Maryland. Amira.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good.
I have a question. My father, he has a green card. He put petition I-30 for my brother.
Excuse me 1 second. Belgium Kim, we have something unhooked here.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. But something is unhooked because I hear this person, but I can't see any of my other calls. But okay, go ahead, Amira.
Yes, so my question is, my father, he has green card. He put I-30 petition for my brother and back home India back in 2017. So now it's October 2019. The I-30 petition is still pending, and my brother going to be 21 this April. And the USCIS said that their processing time is 24 months. We created so many service tickets and sent letter from the congressman, but we are not getting anything. So my concern is once he turned 21, they will change his category. So can we do anything in this time period to process?
Tell me again when you filed for him.
2017 October.
And you are a permanent resident. The father.
Yes, my dad.
Your dad.
Yes.
And this is your brother, and your dad's not a citizen yet.
No.
Unfortunately, he's going to end up in the F2B category. There's nothing you can do about it then, to be honest with you.
We cannot put the amendments like you're talking about with the other people.
Yes. Well, obviously you can file a mandamus. I thought he already turned 21. When does he turn 21?
Once he turns 21, but before that...
When will he be 21? How long from now? I thought he was over 21 already. So maybe I misunderstood.
No, he's going to be within 4 months, 4 to 5 months.
Well, yeah, you can file a mandamus now, but it's still... I wish you called me a few months ago, but hold on 1 second. We would have to file a mandamus like next week. Okay, get the I-130 approved, and then expedite him at the National Visa Center. I mean, it'll be what's called like a yeoman's job, big heavy lifting, but maybe we can do it. Okay, you're right there at the cusp. The answer is yes. You can file a mandamus because they've been delaying him for over 2.5 years on a case there where the priority dates have been current for over a year.
Okay, but
I thought you had told me already that he was over 21, so I apologize.
No, but their processing time is 24 months, so he did not.
Who cares what the processing time is? Priority dates are current.
Okay.
So, I mean, the government could say our processing time is 5 years, even though a green card was available to him 5 years ago. We're still going to take our time, and we're going to wait 5 years to process his green card, or 24 months to process his green card. A visa delayed is a visa denied. They're doing it on purpose. That's why you file a mandamus. But you're really running out of time, literally, because you have 5 months to get everything done. All right?
Okay.
All right.
And my second question is, my mom, she has green card, past 5 years, but her residency is less than 30 months. Can she apply for citizenship?
She has a green card. No, you have to be a resident for at least. How did she get her green card?
And she has green card past 5 years.
Right.
But most of the time she's living in back home. She's here only 3 months.
No, she cannot become a citizen. You have to be in the United States for 30 out of 60 months. No trip more than 6 months. She probably doesn't have the residence requirements.
Okay, and what about the English? She's over 65. She has to learn the...
Well, it doesn't matter. She doesn't qualify for citizenship anyway, so why even discussing English? She can't become a citizen yet. When she's eligible for a citizen, then we can talk about English.
Okay. And my last question is...
You've answered like 75 questions already.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. All right. You know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do is I want to talk about de novo reviews and filing, because we've been talking about mandamus, we've been talking about suing the government,
right?
And especially on citizenship cases, de novo means new. De novo reviews literally means a new trial, and they can be particularly helpful if you've not gotten a decision from immigration 120 days after your citizenship interview, or if your application has been denied. De novo reviews can even be an option for some people who are deportable. So here's a clip from my conversation about de novo reviews with Spar and Bernstein immigration attorney Abadir Barre, and then we're going to come back and answer some more immigration questions. So let's watch. Once you have your N-400 application interview for naturalization, immigration has 120 days to make a decision. Anyone who hasn't received a decision 120 days after the N-400 interview has recourse to sue the federal government. It's called a de novo review. Here to discuss is Spar and Bernstein immigration attorney Abadir Barre in another edition of Abadir Sues the Government. Welcome, Abadir. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back.
All right. So let me ask you a question. Who is entitled to become a naturalized United States citizen?
You're entitled to apply for naturalization if you're a green card holder and been in the military for more than 1 year, if you've been in a bona fide marriage and have a green card for 3 years or more, or if you have a green card in any other way for 5 years or more.
So now you become eligible to file for your naturalization. The process is you file your N-400 application, you pay a filing fee of $725, and you take your fingerprint, and your fingerprint's clear, and then several months later you go on your interview, and they say, okay, you'll hear from us. And now, Abadir, 120 days goes by, and it's typical, nobody has heard from immigration.
Right.
What do? Choice number one, do nothing and wait. Choice number two is you write a letter, or your congressman writes a letter. Or choice number three, you sue the government.
Right.
Waiting and writing letters, immigration will eventually get to you when they get to you.
Right.
Suing the government. People get very scared suing the government, Abadir. They say, I don't want to sue. They'll put me in deportation.
Right.
I'll be living in another country. I'll wait. What do you say about that?
Federal courts have original jurisdiction over N-400 applications. So they're different than other immigration petitions. And actually, even in the civil cover sheet, they'll say like other immigration matters and then citizenship and naturalization. So it is put in a separate category, and there's a separate statute that Congress has written into it. It's called 8 USC section 1447 that allows you to sue USCIS if they don't adjudicate your application within 120 days.
And that is called a de novo review.
Right.
And a federal judge, when he does a de novo review, whatever immigration thinks about your case doesn't matter. De novo means new.
Right.
He's going to look at this with brand new, fresh eyes.
Right.
And you can do a de novo review at any time. It's 120 days after you have an interview and there's no decision, all the way up to the time when they make a decision. And if they make a decision against the weight of the evidence and you are otherwise eligible for citizenship, you can still do a de novo review.
Correct.
Even if you didn't appeal it.
Right, correct.
You actually have 6 years from the time of the denial of your naturalization.
Correct, yes. And this is happening a lot with people. The most, couple of recent cases I've had, one person was 2 years and 9 months since the interview, no decision. They sent repeated letters to USCIS. Their lawyers sent letters. From lawsuit to him taking an oath was like 7 weeks, I think.
My opinion is everyone should do a de novo review unless you're looking at automatic deportation. But even if you do a de novo review, they got to review it first before they put you in deportation. There are people out there who are deportable,
right,
but also eligible for citizenship.
Correct.
Because citizenship, what you have to prove is that you have 5 years good moral character and you do not have an aggravated felony and you are not presently in deportation. You may have had 2 crimes of moral turpitude 20 years ago that make you a deportable alien.
Right.
But for the last 20 years, you have good moral character. So you would say, okay, I'm going to file my naturalization, but immigration is going to look to deny my citizenship and put me in proceedings.
Correct, yes.
Sometimes you may say, okay, they're going to take more than 120 days to make that decision.
Right.
So we're going to go on the interview. We know they're going to put you in deportation, but they usually won't do it in 120 days because it's got to go up and down the litigation unit. And then you do a de novo review.
Right.
Now they can't put you in deportation because you're in federal court.
Yes.
Federal judge has to make a decision, and the federal judge is not making a decision to deport you. They're just saying, are you eligible for citizenship or not? You don't remand it back, you just keep it there.
Right.
I presume...
actually had a similar case to that, what you're describing, where I had a client where he was from Jamaica and he had several arrests and convictions, and like a couple of them were marijuana, all in the early 2000s. So this was like 15 years ago. We were doing this in I think 2016 or 17, and the USCIS denied it. He did N336. Then he came to us. We went to federal court, back and forth. We were ready to do it in federal court, and then the service basically decided to remand it, and then they just adjudicated and gave him his citizenship because we were ready to go through in federal court, and they weren't.
So a lot of times, de novo reviews are very helpful to a lot of people, and I think we've learned a lot here.
Right.
And I think what's most important is that you have to take the bull by the horns.
Right.
So if you have a pending naturalization or your naturalization was denied in the last 6 years and you think you otherwise were eligible for citizenship, you should give Abadir a call. Well, thank you very much, Abadir. For all those who need Abadir's services, he's right here at Spar and Bernstein, 1-800-529-5465, and he'll be happy to speak with you. Thanks, Abadir.
Thank you.
Great job. All right, let's go to Hank in Cookeville, Tennessee. Hank. 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 All right. Hold on for Hank.
Hello.
Oh, Hank. No,
Hello,
I was about to hang up on you, Hank. You were.
I'm sorry.
I want you to know something. It's okay. You were this close to being hung up on, but you're
Oh, man.
Fantastic. What can I do to help you?
Okay, quick question. My wife is scheduled for an N51 interview. She'd been married, but then divorced her previous husband, and then I married her when she had the pending 751. So now they've scheduled coming for the removal of condition, but she's married to me now.
Right.
So is the interview going to be me to prove with her or her previous?
No, the interview is all about, was she in a bona fide marriage with her prior husband and now she's divorced from him. So as long as she can prove she was in a bona fide marriage with the prior husband, she's now divorced. It was a good marriage back in the day. It's not a good marriage now. I'm married to someone else. That's fine. She still has to prove the bona fides of the first marriage and she's divorced. If she does that, she gets her permanent green card. If she fails at that, she has two choices. One, she can
Okay.
file a new I-751 if there's some other category she can do it on, or you can file a new adjustment for her. But you can't do anything for her until this I-751 is determined.
Yeah, because the original 751 was denied because they said, she was still under, it was still pending when I married her.
Okay.
Or when I filed for her.
So
and then they said there was a closet administratively.
The answer is, if she has to finish this I-751, if she can prove she's divorced and it was a bona fide marriage to the first husband, she's done. If she can't, she'll be denied, and then we have options on what to do. But it has nothing to do with you at the moment.
Okay, so basically just going for the interview. But, how does she prove, she hasn't been with that person for 10 years. Her 751 has been pending for the last almost 7
10 years ago, I lived with the man. Here's my evidence. Here's pictures. Here's our wedding album. Here's some financial documents. I don't, you got to prove. You got to, save it stuff.
What I meant is her divorce has been longer than, she's been divorced longer than she was married.
Okay, it doesn't matter. When she got her green card, whether it was 2010, 2012, or 1943, whenever she got her green card, for those 2 years, from 1943 to 1945, from 2001 to 2003, from 2010 to 2012, for some period of time in that 2-year period, was it a real marriage? Here's the proof.
Okay.
That's what the interview is.
Oh.
All right?
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
No.
All right. Let's go to Ned in Sunny Hill, California. Ned or Nad? One or the other. Hello?
Hi, this is Nav. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. What's going on?
Hi, thanks, Rad. So we guys have filed our I-485 through employment-based, EB1. We've gone through an interview in April this year.
The EB1 is based on extraordinary ability or as an intra-company transferee?
Intercompany transfer.
Okay. And you're currently on an L1 visa now?
Yes.
Did you start your own company or you're working for somebody else?
No, I'm working for a company.
Okay, and came in on an L visa as an executive or manager, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
all right, so what is your question?
So we guys went through an interview. My wife had a petty theft, which was dismissed through diversion. This is
your wife. You know what? You're talking like you're underwater. Your wife. What happened with your wife?
So my wife had a petty theft back in 2012.
Okay.
Which was dismissed through diversion program.
Okay.
They did talk about it during interview and said it's fine. There should not be a problem.
I agree. It is not a problem. I agree.
Okay. Perfect. And it's been 6 months, and now the EB1 dates have gone back. So my question is, obviously, it's gone back to 2015. This is for India. There's nothing at this point you can do because the dates retrogressed. Once the dates reach again, and they reach to your priority date, and 120 days goes and comes, and there's still no answer from immigration, you got to give them 120 days from when your date is reached again. Then you can file a mandamus, but you can't do it now because you're not eligible. Okay. And then can I change the location at this stage since it's gonna take some more time for my dates to become correct?
You can change the location. It has to do with that you're from India. So whether you're from India and live in California or you're from India and live in New York, your priority date's the same. If you're going to move to New York or move somewhere else, then yeah, you can change your address, but it's not going to make your wait for a green card any faster.
But that doesn't delay anything, right? If the files have to move, because currently they transferred our case back to NBC.
It's not going to matter at this point.
Okay. And then diversion program is not an issue, right?
No, because it's not. It's not a crime. B, it's not a crime. C, it happened 7-8 years ago. It's fine.
Yeah, it's around 2013 and that happened in 2014.
Absolutely okay.
Okay, so I gotta wait for my dates to become current. Until then, I need to continue to be on an EAD and advanced payroll, right?
Correct.
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 Okay. All right. That sounds perfect. Seems like nothing can be done here. So
no, not until your prior date is reached again. Unfortunately.
Okay. And is there any prediction that you know, or any insights to when these dates will move? Because
only the Magic 8 Ball really knows the answer. Okay, so I don't, because you want to know why. Okay, even if I knew, for example, okay, just think about it. Even if I knew, for example, so anyone who tells you the dates, it's all BS. Nobody knows for sure. And the reason is that, India only gets a certain amount of green cards in the EB1 category. And those green cards, okay, it's not just the applicant, but it's the applicant and the applicant's spouse and children all go towards those ceiling of numbers. You don't know how many people are in front of you, and even if you did know, you don't even know how many people are going to get approved. Let's say there's 100 people in front of you and they're only giving out 10 green cards, but all 100 people got denied before you, you're going to be eligible immediately. Who knows? You don't know how many approvals and denials, and you don't know how many spouses and children are coming along. So you have no idea.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
Okay. That sounds perfect.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Mitten in Manhattan. Mitten.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
How are you? Where are you from, Mitten?
Manhattan.
Where originally?
I'm sorry?
Where originally are you from?
I'm from India.
From India. Okay, what can I do to help?
Okay, so I'm a spouse of a U.S. citizen, and we are a same-sex couple.
Okay.
So I had a pending asylum, right? So when I withdrew the asylum, I got a removal proceeding, and I had a master calendar hearing. I went to the court, and the judge said he gonna make the decision on the I-485. He just need the approval of I-130.
Right.
And it's been like 2.5 years. My I-130 is not approved.
Okay, so then it's time to file a mandamus. Okay, you and your spouse are in a bona fide marriage.
Yes.
And you went for an interview. They got to make a decision on this. We just had a client who had a pending removal, similar situation where I-130 was pending forever. We filed a mandamus. They got scheduled for another interview. That interview was done within 3 weeks of filing, went back before a judge, and resolved everything in like 8 weeks.
Yeah, because the judge, he gave us 5 months to get the approval of I-130.
Right. Yes. So
and like 2 days ago, I called the USCIS.
You can call and speak to level 2, level 3, level 11, level 21, level 87.
They expedite it. I don't know what's expedite.
You know what? Okay, then they expedite it. All right, good luck. The only way for sure is you file a mandamus. Other than that, you're relying on somebody on a telephone that whether they expedite it or not. Yeah, hello, Mitten. Yeah, we're expediting it. Bye. You have no idea if they're going to do that or not. That's your life.
Okay. So another question: If we do the mandamus, and if I get the approval of I-130, so what is the next step? What judge gonna do?
Go back to the judge and say, "Here's my I-130. I'm eligible for my green card." Unless you have a criminal record, unless you've lied to the government, he has to adjust your status.
Are you gonna make the decision right away?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let's go to David in the Bronx. David.
Hello.
Hi, David.
Hi, Braun. How are you today?
Braun? Brad.
Great. Thank you so much for the good job that you guys are doing.
David,
hello?
Stop
Yes.
1 second. I'm happy to answer all your questions, but the only thing I ask is that you get my name right. It's not Braun, it's Brad. And now you can
Sorry?
My name is Brad, not Braun. So
I said Brad.
Oh, you
okay,
did say
with my
Brad.
accent.
Oh, with your accent. Okay. Then my
Yeah,
apologies.
sorry.
Then I apologize to you. I was going to
That's
say
okay.
I am
That's fine.
The only deal I make with people, okay, I'll give you all the free advice that I can give you to the best of my knowledge. The only request I make is get my name right. You did. My apologies. Go ahead.
Okay, that's okay. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I have a strong accent.
Thank you.
So
Where are you from?
speak. Actually from Nigeria, but I speak French and a few German because I resident in German.
Yeah, it's funny. You sounded German to me. That's very funny. I thought you were going to say Germany. Okay. What could I do to help you?
Actually, and I've been married U.S. citizen and for almost 5 years. And actually, because I've been going back and forth, so my lawyer advised me to first, because I was fighting for my kids to have the custom of my kids. So the lawyer said we cannot do the adjustment of statutes. I have to do a petition. So the petition has been approved for 3 years. And this year, January, we apply for an adjustment of status.
Okay. So.
And my question is, now I did my fingerprint and all that. I got a message from the website, and that was the 18th of September. They said, case is ready to be scheduled for an interview.
That doesn't mean anything. All it means is that your documents are in order to be scheduled for an interview. But that, people misunderstand that to mean because your case is ready to be interviewed, that any day you should expect an interview notice. What that really means is that we've seen all your documents and on a cursory review of all your documents, everything seems to be in order. We'll schedule an interview whenever we feel like it. That's basically what that's.
And so, okay, because it's been like I did my fingerprint 2 months ago, and then yet still I haven't got my anything like a working permit and all that. So
1 year you haven't gotten a work permit?
No, it's not 1 year. It's actually it's January, but I got the information that the lawyers they didn't process the case.
When did you file your adjustment?
Adjustment it's January, but
January?
I think the lawyers.
So then, if it's January, you filed your adjustment, and we're now October 1st, and you went through quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3 of 2019, and you still don't have a work permit in your hand. Something was done wrong. Something was done wrong.
My fingerprint was I did a fingerprint 2 months ago.
Something was
and
done wrong. I don't know what.
I got the information. 1 second. I got the information that the lawyers didn't process the documents at the same time, or not January. They processed it like April or May.
Then your lawyer did something wrong. I don't know what. All I can tell you is you just fingerprinted 2 months ago, and your lawyer filed an adjustment in January. Something got screwed up.
No. I give all the how do you call it the exam, the medical exams and all that in January. But then after
when did your lawyer or you or whoever's filing it
my lawyer.
When? What day?
She didn't tell me. The only time I got the receipt was in
What does the receipt
July.
say? Okay, so then your lawyer filed in July. So you've only been waiting 3 months for a work permit. That's your answer. You got to wait 6 months. Now, did your lawyer hold on to your paperwork for 6 months? I don't have the slightest idea.
I don't know. She said she was waiting. Okay.
I don't know.
I call and they wait for 3 months before.
Sure. You have a receipt notice that says July. That's when it was filed. You take 6 months for a work permit. That's your answer.
She lies.
Then she lied.
They lies because we pay all the money and there is nothing or the same thing they did.
Then
but
she lied.
I thank God now I know you because it's been like 1 week that I got you.
The only thing I can tell you is if you want, bring your paperwork into me. I will tell you honestly where you stand. But if it was filed in July, you're not going to get your work permit until January, February. And that's the reality.
So it means schedule my ready to schedule my that means nothing.
That means nothing. It just means that they reviewed your paperwork. Everything's in order. Your interview may happen tomorrow. It may happen in a year from now. It may happen in 3 years from now. I have no idea.
So do I need to take appointment with you and what? Because
I think at a bare minimum. Okay.
Because it's been almost 5 years we got married. My wife coming to Germany to visit me. I've been coming.
Something is wrong. You don't wait 5 years to get a green card, especially if you're married to a citizen.
No, I mean it's like we didn't process 5 years. We didn't process. We married 5 years, but I was going back and forth. So we just did it.
David, I don't have an answer for you. I'm happy to help you. Let me see your paperwork, what this lawyer did, and I will tell you whether your lawyer is lying or not, and I'll tell you exactly where you stand and when you're going to get everything. So hold on 1 second.
All right.
Okay? I promise you, I'll help you. Hold on. All right? I need to see the paperwork. Let's go to Jessica in St. Petersburg, Florida. Jessica. Jessica in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hold on, Jessica. Let's go to Mohammed in Hollywood, Florida. Mohammed.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, sir. How about you?
Good. What's going on?
Fine. Sir, I have a problem. I apply I-360
Yes.
for almost 2017 May. Okay? Before his first my interview is denied. And some problem we are separate. She give me a problem. We apply the VAWA case. I applied the VAWA case. I-360.
Right.
But still is just like a processing. It didn't show me anything. Almost is May 30, 2017 I apply. Now is the case processing time says 23 months and 23.5. So it's 28 months, right?
Mohammed, this is the answer on VAWA. There is no more VAWA. It ended yesterday.
I applied 2017, sir.
I don't know what's going to happen. You're in a good position. If you filed a VAWA case in 2017, 2 years before the end of the law, and immigration didn't act on it, that sounds like a pretty good litigation if they're not going to complete your case. I don't know what they're going to do. We have to see what's going to happen. But you certainly should have really thought about doing something months ago, not after it ended. But at this point, let's see what happens.
But I have still primary phase case receipt already. So this October this expires. Every 6 months they send me.
Mohammed.
Yes, sir.
Listen to the words that come out of my mouth.
Okay.
At the present time, VAWA doesn't exist. The law ended.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen with all of these cases, hundreds of thousands of people who filed VAWA cases that immigration didn't make decisions on. I don't know what immigration is going to do. If they're going to say, well, there's no more VAWA, too bad, well, then that's a visa delayed as a visa denied. That's a violation of your rights. Or are they going to complete the cases? So when I say a visa delayed is a visa denied, this is the most prime example of it. I don't know what immigration's going to do. I don't know if Congress is going to extend the law. As of now, VAWA, you couldn't file a VAWA case if you wanted to at this moment. Okay? So
I filed it already 2017.
I understand. And what I'm telling you is today it doesn't exist.
Okay.
So
almost 2 years. So I can sue them or no?
I don't know yet. Maybe you can. Before we start doing any litigation, I think we should let immigration make the first move. Maybe they will come back and they will say we're going to keep processing those cases that are pending. Maybe they'll automatically deny. I don't know what they're going to do yet. So it only ended 18 hours ago. We're not even 24 hours into VAWA's over. Okay, because it ended midnight of September 30th. I don't know what immigration is going to do. Let's hang on there for a few days. Let's see how it all, kind of rolls out, and then we'll figure what to do. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Hang in there. I promise you, when we see how immigration is going to handle it, we're going to figure out what to do for everybody. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Now, with that, okay, we have Jenny Kim and Abadir Barre with an attorney close-up for tips for filing for your green card. Let's watch.
For somebody that's filing for a green card based on marriage, I think it's all about preparation. I see time and time and again where individuals are in a genuine marital relationship, but because of life, because of the amount of time that it might take, maybe just because they're not aware, they don't necessarily gather the necessary documents or the documents that are required for the purposes of proving to an immigration officer at their interview that they are in a genuine marriage. For example, it's really important to go ahead and file your tax returns together as either either Mary filing jointly or Mary filing separately. And a lot of the explanations that we get from clients for not filing taxes together is because the individual applying for the green card does not have a social security number. But there is a method in which you can apply for a tax ID number, which allows you to go ahead and apply or file taxes together. You know, it's all about documentation and just to be prepared.
What I would advise people who are planning to apply for green card, as everybody knows, under the Trump administration, the administration is very strict. So before, people would be able to get their green cards and officers were a little bit more lenient. So now I advise you, first consult an attorney if you can, because you may not know that you have issues in your case at the interview or sometimes even after the interview when you get a decision, particularly a denial decision if it's adverse against you. So I'd say consult an attorney. If you can't and you get, some people do their forms through community centers or a friend or a family or somebody, really take the time to closely look at the forms to make sure that everything is accurate, because with this administration, they're liable to deny you for small mistakes or issues that in past administrations wouldn't.
The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, we're going to do something we like to call social media checking.
Our first question is from Deandra, who said, "Hey Brad, would receiving emergency Medicaid due to pregnancy count as a public charge?"
No.
Kenson's asking, after approval of the I-130, what's next?
Who's sponsoring you? If it, eventually you got to apply for a green card. If you're on a waiting list, you got to wait. If you're an immediate relative, then you either adjust your status. If you're eligible, you do a provisional waiver. If you're not eligible and you're physically here, or you're in another country and you process back home. I don't know enough about their situation.
Dana said, "My friend admitted that she shoplifted in 2002. However, no police were involved or charges were filed. The shop security took the item back and let her go and told her just don't do it again. Is there going to be any problem filing for citizenship? She didn't even tell on her I-751 about this."
No, because she was never charged with the crime.
Claudette Fisher is saying, can you advise how an affidavit employment section should fill out if the petitioner who's a green card holder is working out of the country temporarily? The petitioner filed the tax returns last year to report earnings overseas.
Well, then you submit, you show where you're earning and where your money's coming from, even if you're working temporarily abroad in another country.
And also, will the new public charge affect the filing if I don't submit my affidavit before October 15th? I just received my case and invoice number.
Yes, it will, because it affects everyone who hasn't got an immigrant visa before October 15th, unless you filed an adjustment. If you filed an adjustment before October 15th, the prior law applies. Everyone in another country, if you didn't walk in for your interview and get your immigrant visa, the new law will apply.
Nikki said, "If my mom is a green card holder, how long will it take to get my 20-year-old brother if she filed for him on February 3rd, 2019, and he's turning 21 in February?"
That's 6 more years.
Sherlock saying, quick question, my I-485 got denied because I didn't send in my birth certificate. I didn't send in, our lawyer said she wants to appeal because it's just a document. Is that wise, or should we just refile?
Refile. It's not wise to appeal. It's certainly not wise to make motions to reopen. Refile.
Marie said, "My adjustment process, Marie said, I've got a question given my adjustment process with my husband's new cancer diagnosis. Last week, the doctors told me that he's not going to be with us much longer, so I'm frustratingly trying to pull my life together. If my husband passes away before my combo card or interview date, what should I do?"
The case would convert to a widow petition, and as long as you can prove it was a real marriage, your name is on the death certificate, showing that you are the surviving spouse, you can prove it was a real marriage. Make sure you document that now. You should be okay.
So can I just finish? Because I don't think it's going to change anything, but I want to make sure. So they've been married for 3 years. They've got a 4-year-old son together. She's currently on an F1 visa because they were doing long distance, and she came here to do her PhD.
That's fine. She's going to be a widow.
Okay.
It automatically converts. They have a child together, so they can prove it's a bona fide match.
Okay.
All right. Sheena Bullock saying, how long do you know or estimate the time for an adult child to have his approved I-130 if the parents become a citizen? The I-130 was submitted about 15 months before the I-130 was submitted.
Years and years.
Our next question comes from Tariq, who said, I entered the U.S. with a K-1 visa, and I got married within 6 months. But within 6 months, she refused to help me get the paperwork necessary. We fought a lot, and I kept pushing her until I got my driver's license and social security number. I'm assuming he metaphorically pushed her. After a year of marriage, she started asking me for money. I had my worker's permit and a lot of stuff, and I couldn't afford it at that time. I asked for her to wait once I get enough money I can start helping with everything, and she refused to wait and cut the heat off and stopped buying food. She asked for a divorce, which I granted her, and I've applied for VAWA, but it's still not been approved. Now I've met a nice lady and we got married September of last year. We had a son. The USCIS received my VAWA petition October 15th of 2018 and all the evidence on March 4th. 1. Does my second marriage affect my VAWA? Now, just in case the dates, he applied for his VAWA. He got the receipt for his VAWA.
I already know the answer to all.
After he got married.
All right, I know all the answers. You didn't have to go through all that.
Okay.
All right, so this is the story.
Okay.
You came on a K-1 visa. You can't get a green card through the second marriage. Okay, so you can only get a green card through the first marriage. You're going to get a green card through the first marriage through one of three scenarios. 1, you and your spouse are together, you file the adjustment, and everything's hunky-dory, which is not the case. 2, you'd file a VAWA, but right now there's no more VAWA. We don't know what's going to happen. 3, there's a special rule for people who came on K-1 visas, on fiancé visas. It's under a case law, actually. It's called matter of cesse. Matter of cesse says that if you came on a K-1 visa and you got married, and there exists somewhere in this world, filed or unfiled, an I-864 affidavit of support by your U.S. citizen spouse, and you can prove it was a bona fide marriage. You don't need your spouse to get the green card. You can even be divorced from your spouse. It sounds to me that the easiest route for you to have taken would have been the matter of cesse route, because you told us in your question that you got a work permit and social. And the only way to get the work permit and social was to have had filed an adjustment at some point, and your wife would have had to have given an I-864 affidavit of support, which is on file somewhere. So the answer is, we can wait to see what happens with VAWA. You can refile again under matter of cesse, and that's what I would do.
All right, our next one comes from Sunil. I had to do a little bit of research just in case you don't know these codes, because I didn't know. He said, I was denied citizenship in 2012 as I had a DVPC 273.5A. So I researched that.
Thank you very much.
That is
because I don't know what the DVCPC 721AA is.
Okay, that's domestic violence.
Where? What state?
California.
California.
All right, so this was in 2011.
Okay.
DV was dismissed in 2015 under the PC 1230.4 and reduced to misdemeanor.
What is
that? And that
that?
just means that the criminal case dismissal, like expungement.
Okay.
This is in California as well. Okay. So now,
the answer is this.
Can I, let me just,
I already know the answer, but yes.
Okay, 3-year probation, no jail term, have a 10-year LPR card. Resident since 2012, LPR card expires in 2024. Can I reapply for citizenship? I live in California, first offense only.
No, because the first offense on domestic violence is an automatic deportation. Not automatic deportation, but certainly deportable. And that happens right when you got your green card. And the fact that it got expunged doesn't mean that that conviction is taken off your record for immigration purposes. We need to know more, which the answer we don't know is, when did you enter the United States? Because we have to figure out whether or not you're cancellation eligible, because if you're not cancellation eligible and immigration sees this domestic violence and they put you in deportation, you will be deported. So you should not be filing anything. You should not be passing go. You should not be collecting $200. These are Monopoly analogies. If anyone knows Monopoly, you should be calling your lawyer immediately.
Our next question comes from Jamie, who said, welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed your birthday, Brad.
I did, thank you.
I'm in removal. That was a downer, I'm sorry. I'm in removal, and I'm out on bond. My child's father is a U.S. citizen. I have a master hearing in March. If I get deported, what are the chances of my child's father being given custody? Will his name be on the birth certificate? Will his name being on the birth certificate create issues when I need to get her passport and eventually bring her home with me if I get deported?
Your deportation has nothing to do with custody. Okay, so to get a U.S. passport, you need both the mother and father to sign the passport applications, whether you're deported or not, whether you're in America or in another country. If you're in another country and the father wants to screw you over and your child is in America, the father can. Father can go into family court and say, I want sole custody of this child. You're in another country. There's no way you can come back to fight that. Now all of a sudden, you're off the passport application. The father controls this child, has full guardianship of this child, and you have no control of whether this child ever goes to visit you or not. So you should be taking care of all these issues now before you get deported.
And as a separate question also from Jamie, how long after an RFE is received does it generally take for a petition to be approved?
I don't know what petition you're talking about.
So a permanent resident father filed for his unmarried daughter who was under 21 at the time, but now she's 22.
Could be 1 day, could be 3 months, could be 9 months, could be over a year.
Okay.
All right. Chuka is saying a friend filed married joint tax in 2018, filed married separate 2019, but went to file joint 2020. He's due for an I-751 by March 2020. Would the 2019 tax be a problem?
Absolutely, because it showed for that particular year you didn't have a joint economic relationship. I would suggest amending it if that's not the case.
Our next question comes from Keisha, who said, does USCIS contact your landlord in a VAWA case?
Yes.
My landlord was involved in the abuse from my husband.
Yes, they could contact your landlord. But if your landlord was part of as an abuser, then make sure that's clear in your application.
Right, because that is not then a trusted source of information.
Correct.
All right, Max Santos saying, my friend who filed an affidavit of support for me, he already sponsored someone the same year. You can
file all the affidavits of support for as many people as you want, as long as you have a good income.
So if yes, will they look at the sponsor's household plus mine, or his household and myself only?
They're going to look at the sponsors, the second sponsors, yours, the number of people the second sponsor previously filed. It's a whole totality of thing.
Our next question comes from Cindy, who said, is it possible for me to file my citizenship application without a divorce certificate or attending the interview without a divorce certificate? My husband left and I have not officially divorced him.
Yeah, as long as you're basing it on 5 years, it's not a problem.
Okay, Audrey saying, please discuss what are strong evidence of psychological abuse in VAWA cases.
Every case is different. I would need to know your specific situation.
And our last question for right now goes to Cardo, who said, I'm a green card holder and I have a DWI. I did some session and some other session, went to court and dropped to a misdemeanor and then a violation. And then I paid a ticket. Can I travel out of the country and then back?
If it's a traffic infraction, I've never seen a traffic infraction deportable offense. If it's a DWI, that's a different situation. So I would suggest before you travel, since this is a criminal arrest, at least it started as a criminal arrest, that you have a good lawyer look at your disposition.
Okay.
All right. So earlier this summer, I spoke with a gentleman by the name of Adolfo Gonzalez. Now, Adolfo has an incredible story of how he has pursued his American dream, which for him is higher education and the capability to financially take care of his family. From growing up in the small Mexican town of San Andreas Ya, speaking the indigenous language of Zapoteco, to graduating college this year at the age of 58 and now pursuing a teaching career, Adolfo's story is one of focus and persistence. Let's watch. Adolfo Gonzalez is the quintessential American dream story. Adolfo is originally from the rural Mexican village of San Andreas Ya, where only the indigenous language Zapoteco is spoken. In between working to help his impoverished family, Adolfo learned Spanish. At age 26, he crossed over to the United States in order to support his widowed mother and family back in Mexico. Undocumented in the United States for years, Adolfo toiled in the fields of California, picking celery for more than 18 years. But in that time, he never gave up on his education. He learned English, gained his general equivalency diploma, and graduated from California State University, Monterey Bay, in May of this year with a bachelor's degree in Spanish. Adolfo joins me today to discuss his journey from poverty to a higher education and the American dream and his plans for the future. Adolfo, welcome. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Okay, so you are currently now in Salinas, California. You're married. You have 2 grown daughters, grandchildren, but you didn't start off there. Tell me where you started off in life.
I'm originally from Oaxaca, Mexico. I was born in an indigenous community. It's called San Andres Ya'a, where an indigenous language is spoken. It's called Zapoteco. It's like 3,000 words, and that's it. It's a small language.
But when you grew up, you didn't speak Spanish.
Correct. When I grew up, my primary language was Zapoteco. Later on, I learned Spanish when I moved to Oaxaca City when I was 8 years old, because my mom told me you have to go to the city in order to get an education, to learn Spanish. I started only second grade in my hometown, because there were no the whole elementary school in San Andres.
When you went to live in Oaxaca, which is a bigger city, you didn't speak Spanish, you were a kid, you had to work. How far in education did you get there?
I started third and fourth grade, and then after 2 years, my mom told my father that I was so young to live alone and work and study, so they took me back to my hometown. Luckily, at this time, we had a full elementary school that consists of the 6 years. Once I got in my hometown again, I finished my elementary school in my hometown, San Andres.
At what age did you come to America?
After I finished my elementary school in my hometown, I stayed in my town for like 4 years, and then I had the opportunity to go back again to Oaxaca City and study. The middle school is called Internado. It was a school that the government provided. I had a lot of trouble learning Spanish, and actually this school was focusing in learning Spanish.
Right.
In order to go back to our community and help people to learn.
They were actually teaching you Spanish as a second language.
Exactly.
Were you able to be conversational in Spanish at that point?
Yes. At that time, I was able to talk Spanish, not fluently, but almost. I went back to my community and worked for 1 year, helping to my community, teaching
Spanish.
them
How old were you?
Spanish.
How old were you at this point?
Like 19 years
19 years
old.
What made you come to America?
Once I realized that the money that I made to support my family as a teacher, it was very, very low. And by that time, my father died, and I decided that I need to do something different in order to get more money.
How did you come to America?
Once I took the decision to come to the United States, like many people do, first I stopped in San Quintin, Ensenada, and I worked a whole season picking tomato in Ensenada. After that, in 1986, I came to San Diego, and I paid just $20 to the coyote.
What did you do in California when you got here?
I worked in the field picking strawberry for a whole season. After that, in 1987, I moved to Salinas, California, where I live current time.
And at some point you met your wife?
I got married in 1991. Then in 1992, in May, we had the first baby, Marie. In 1996, my second daughter, Blanca.
How did you ultimately become legal in America? What process did you go through?
At the beginning, it was not my intention to marry in order to get a legal status, because my feeling was to go back with my family.
Right.
But once we had the first baby, my wife suggested me to apply.
You got it through your wife?
Yes.
You paid a penalty
Yes,
fee. Right.
right.
Because the penalty fee came about 93 or 94. So you must have paid the penalty fee. Exactly. Okay. So, and that's how you got your green card, and then ultimately you became a citizen. How long did you work in the fields?
I work in the field, basically harvesting celery for about 18 years.
Right. Why did you decide that you wanted to go back to school, and what were you trying to accomplish?
It was about 1995, 1996 when I decided to do something different. And also because the money, it was not enough for my family. So I took the decision to learn English, and I enrolled at Salinas Adult School. It's a free school in Salinas. We don't have to pay anything.
Right.
Just go to school and learn English.
And you did this in between the seasonal picking of the celery, correct?
Correct. When my seasonal jobs end up in December, I took advantage like 2 months and go to learn English in Salinas School.
How long did it take you to learn English?
I would say it took long time. I went to school only like 2-3 months on my vacation.
And then you eventually said, I'm going to go get a GED.
Once I enrolled at Salinas Adult School, I started learning English. At the same time, I took general classes.
I see.
Finally, I got my GED diploma and my basic English certificate in 2003.
So it took you 8 years.
Exactly.
To get basically the equivalent of a high school diploma. You had to take a test to pass. How did you motivate yourself that I'm going to do this, I'm going to get my GED?
My family, and as I told you, the money. Once I realized that I have to learn English in order to get a better job, so that was my motivation. Every time that I have trouble with the English, that inspired me to double my effort to learn English.
When you were going to get your GED, your children who were born in 91 and 93, they were going to school too. Daddy's studying, your children, everyone was studying all together?
Yes. Once I learned a few English vocabulary, I was able to help my daughter. When I got my diploma, I got another job as a driver truck.
What made you want to continue to go to college?
Professor in Salinas Adult School and my daughter and my family suggest me to continue my education. So I enrolled at Harner College. It's a community college that we have in Salinas, and I enrolled in this college in 2003. Harner College offer English classes too. So I continued learning, improving my English.
When did you take these classes? Because you now had a full-time job driving a truck and delivering food.
The English classes in Salinas Adult School was at night. Unfortunately, I dropped out my classes because somebody has to provide for the family, and I worked for full-time. In 2015, I went back to Harner College again to get my associate degree. I got my associate degree in 2017. It took me 2 years.
And have you been in the same job all of these years, delivering food and truck, or did you switch jobs?
To have time to go to Harner College, I looked for another job. So I got a job in a car wash Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In order to have the whole week free for studying.
Recently graduated with your bachelor's degree, correct, in Spanish?
Exactly. I graduated with academic honor. I decided to get my bachelor degree in Spanish because something that I noticed is in my community, my people, they don't want to speak Spanish anymore, including my daughter. And I started formally Spanish.
How old are you today when you graduated?
58.
It took you 25 years to go from a man who had no education, picking celery seasonally in San Diego, to you're a U.S. citizen, you have a bachelor's degree, you have an associate's degree. How has this changed the quality of your life?
Now I have an offer to work as a Spanish teacher.
Wow, it's amazing. You think back and you're like, wow, I can't believe, how this all worked out.
At this point, I think the education that I get will provide economic stability for my family, because this was my goal and still my goal since I came to the United States. I feel like I achieved the American dream for me at this time.
You're going back for a master's degree, is that correct?
Correct. After I passed my CBS test, I'm looking for everything that I need to in order to apply for master's degree.
You really are. When somebody says, the American dream, you come here as an immigrant, you work hard, and you become a success. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. What do you feel when Donald Trump calls Mexican immigrants rapists, criminals, and tells them to get out of our country, we don't need you here?
When I hear comments from our government or any people against immigrants people, sometimes it's bothering me, because we come to the United States to work hard, trying to help our family that we live in Mexico and the family that we have in the United States.
I applaud you on the self-motivation to do it. It's very, very difficult. What do you say to somebody, because there's a lot of people watching our show that maybe don't have a high school diploma, and maybe they're in their 30s or 40s. What do you say to somebody who says, I can't go back to school, I can't learn, I'll never learn as an adult?
I would tell them that never is too late to get our dreams.
Adolfo Gonzalez, it's an amazing job.
Thank you for having me with you, and I would like to take this minute to encourage everybody to stay focused in school, because I always say, if I can do it at my age 58, I think everybody can do it, and I recommend anybody, don't give up, stay focused.
Thank you very much again, Adolfo. I appreciate it, and good luck to you in your further endeavors as a teacher and your master's degree. You're an inspiration to us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much again.
All right, so we're going to do a speed round now. Julian, you ready? How many questions, how many minutes? I'll leave it up to you, Belgium Kim.
I think we're going to do 20 questions.
20 questions in what? 7 minutes?
2:45, Brad. Don't you dare.
I thought you were going to tell me 20 questions in 7 minutes.
Are you
speed
kidding?
round.
Are you kidding?
Yes, that's the turtle round. We're doing speed round,
This is
right?
a speed round. That's
All
right.
20 questions. Belgium Kim says we can do it in 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Leo said, does getting an FSA as a permanent green card holder affect citizenship?
No.
Adoption says, what if a I-130 wasn't approved before I turned 21? Will CSPA help? Petitioned by LPR.
It depends on your situation.
Cole said, I sent in the I-130 about a week ago. Do I have to wait until it's approved to send in the I-45?
No, not if you're eligible to adjust.
Angel said, my husband petitioned for my son. We live in New York and my son lives in Massachusetts. They said his interview will be done there. Is that a problem?
Nope.
Favorite Adele said, can I adjust my husband's status as a permanent resident?
Only if he's in legal status.
Derek had a case with the MVA, pled not guilty, had probation before justice 1 year in 2010. I'm trying to renew my 10-year green card and naturalize. Is that conviction? Is that a conviction?
I don't know what you had a motor vehicle accident. I don't know what you pled guilty to, so we would need to see the disposition.
ASMR said, can a green card holder file an I-130 for a child who's under 21?
Yes.
Eufrida says, if someone has an I-485 interview 3 months after filing, will the person receive an EAD card days after the interview?
No, it'll still come about 6 months if you're not approved.
Andre said, when I file the I-130 for my child, do I have to translate the birth certificate with a paid translator, or is that later on in the interview?
No, send it with the paid translation.
Nick just got married 4 months ago, and we're staying with my parents-in-law before we move to develop our own life. So is it possible that we can use the utility bills in their name as proof of evidence?
No, but you can get a letter from your in-laws saying that you live with them.
Anne said, will immigration deny child entry into the U.S. if the child has a visiting visa from Jamaica and an I-130 was filed, but the child's father's adjustment was denied?
It's a possibility.
TJ says, when filing the I-864 with the joint sponsor, do each application list all sponsoring parties, or can I just put the husband on one application, stepdaughter and sisters on the I-64?
No, all sponsoring parties.
Adrian said, if my child was under 21 when I filed the I-130, how long does he have to work for a work permit and social? How long does he have to wait?
At least 6 months.
Garcia says, does my husband need to bring his U.S. passport to an AOS interview to proof he's a U.S. citizen, or is birth certificate enough proof?
He needs photo identification under the Real ID Act plus a birth birth certificate.
Tanya said, what does someone get fingerprints done to get their police records?
What does somebody
Where?
do? Where?
Yeah.
You get it at a local police department for that jurisdiction, or you can get your fingerprints done privately and send it to the FBI or the state police, whoever you may particularly need to send it to.
Christine says, what can happen next when immigration put a case interview on review after the interview?
It's 120 days. They have to make a decision. After that, it's mandamus time.
Juliet's husband will be filing for citizenship next January. How long will it till she has to file for her green card? She's got a daughter who's 19 as well.
We're just going to blow up.
How many away were we?
2.
We were 2.
What was the question?
About 3.
Juliet's husband is filing for his citizenship next January.
Yeah.
How long will it take if Juliet files for her green card and she's got a daughter who's 19? So once he gets his citizenship and he turns around and files for his wife Juliet and her daughter.
Where are they?
I think Juliet's here. I don't know about the daughter.
Adjustment could be anywhere from 6 months to 18 months, and your daughter in another country could be 18 months.
Okay.
Maria Ramirez saying, I-130 approved since March 2019. Case has been marooned at NBC.
Marooned.
Maybe.
Marooned.
Is it marooned?
No. It's
or maybe moved.
Moved.
At NBC since
Marooned
May.
means you're on an island.
Right, that's how I feel. Like it's just marooned at NBC.
Yes.
Like I'm
It's
just
either you're on Gilligan's Island or you're like a Jingle Ball watching Adam Levine. I'm not sure.
Well, they're saying it's marooned at NBC.
That's exactly how I picture immigration right now. It's just a bunch of files marooned in an office.
All right, so it's marooned at NBC since May 2019. What's going on? Spouse is a U.S. citizen.
I don't know what's going on, but we can figure it out. How would I know what's going on?
That's fair. How would you? And finally, Cindy said, nope, we already asked Cindy's question. So Rodrigo said, can someone who's overstayed and worked without authorization after a work visa denial apply for unemployment if they got married to a U.S. citizen and they're waiting for a work permit?
No, you need to show you have a legal work permit to get unemployment. And by the way, Jessica Leamy says that I tried to purposely sabotage. Why does she
There
think
was that one
question
where we
seemed like
about 3.
I couldn't get the word to the state police out of my mouth. I was just like, I was fumbling the word state police.
But
it took me like 10 seconds to get state police out of my
Even state
mouth.
police, like the whole answer to the question was far more developed than they usually are. Go to the police station is normally the go-to, but like, you can go to your jurisdiction.
I fumbled that.
Yeah, that wasn't a speed round answer, Brad. That's okay. We forgive you.
All right, comments of the day.
All right, our first comment of the day comes from Wendy Brown saying, Brad, you are our president in immigration.
All right,
Woo, woo. Our second comment of the day is Don Harriet, who followed that up. Who's like, no. He is the crowned king of immigration, Wendy.
All right, now our third comment of the day is talking about why Jamaicans are so fast. Javel Finnegan saying, the Jamaicans yellow yam make we so fast. I need some of that yellow yam.
Yeah, right? That's a thing.
Do. All right.
I'm very careful. Be careful what you wish for here, Tamika Nelson, who said, y'all should ask Brad to talk Jamaican. OMG, it will be so funny.
I know.
Right.
It's not as good as Yo-Yo's patois.
That's
patois is not good at all.
You have a Jamaican dictionary. You have a patois dictionary that we bought you a couple years ago.
We should pull that out, by the way.
Right.
We
I
should.
say type out something for him, like a good sentence.
And
for
he
him to
will.
say.
That's true. Any sentence y'all type in the comments, he will give it a shot. He can't help himself, honestly, because he reads it like that.
You know how I butcher your name, so you know exactly. I'm going to butcher patois, right?
Exactly. It'll be really funny.
All right, and we have one from Tali Tali saying, when is Brad Show live? Everything stops in my house. Love watching my favorite trio on the big screen, 75-inch TV.
Whoa! 75 inch.
I like that.
Yeah, maybe we should come over and watch with her.
Yeah,
75 inches.
How would we do that?
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true. Well,
I
we'll watch
didn't know
a
they
rerun.
made
A rerun.
75. I didn't even know they made them that big.
Oh,
Yeah.
they make them however big you want them, Brad.
We'll save that one for Hump Day, don't you?
I'm sorry.
Yes, I know what you were thinking.
I don't know what you're saying. I got one final 101 from Terry the Real Slim Ass, who said, and this is going to be our new show description, I feel like, in the comments that we like pin, because she said this: 200 persons ask questions daily. Brad can only answer on average of 10. Therefore, to ensure your question is answered, you have to ask your question ASAP. ASAP being the moment the show begins.
Correct.
If you join the Brad Squad, then you'll be notified immediately as soon as the show goes live. However, have faith. There is a speed round in the last segment where the aim is to answer 20 questions. Therefore, keep listening. If not, be ready, and tomorrow post your questions as the show begins. Stats.
Wow.
Terry, you are hired.
Terry Schlamaz.
I need y'all to pin that
Terry
every single day.
Every day.
That was as good as a description on how to like what is the
Get
word?
your immigration
Get your immigration questions.
Yeah.
But it's like how to
navigate the show.
Navigate the show.
That was amazing.
I got you.
That was amazing.
That is if you want a Brad Show Live hack 101, Terry just laid out the entire tea for you, and we called attention to it. I don't want to hear another complaint about did y'all get my question at 6:48. Not one more.
All right, so tomorrow we're going to be talking more about 75-inch television.
Yeah, that's right.
On Hump Day. We'll see you all tomorrow.
So Sam, as
Take
part
care.
of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's